of my mind.
I'm on it.
Oh, I got all the fire and all the energy because you know what? It's Money Monday, and I am excited. What's up, y'all? John Melton coming to you live. If you're hopping on live, let us know if you can see us, if you can hear us. Smash that heart button. And if you're watching the replay, what's up, replay viewer? Let us know where you're coming in from and when you're watching the replay, because I'm curious, and so is Frazer.
I'm super curious.
It's funny because he just interviewed me 2 hours ago. So now it's my turn. And I was like, Frazer, don't worry, bro. I changed. And literally all I did was just slap a little jacket on. But I'm excited because we're going to talk about recruiting on the Facebook. Do you guys know that back in the day, Facebook was called the Facebook? Little tidbit there, little history lesson there. But for those of you that don't know Frazer, maybe you live under a rock. But he is the guy. He is the man. He is the myth, the legend. When it comes to all things social media and network marketing, combining those two forces. In fact, I remember the first time he messaged me, I was so excited that I told him, no, I can't do a phone call with you, but you could send me an audio clip. And he was like, dang. So that's how this guy rolls. No, in all seriousness, we've been friends for years, but that first message, I honestly, I obviously knew who he was, but I was like, oh, he's probably just some dude trying to get me on the phone to pitch me something. And he was genuinely just trying to connect and be a good human, which is what I teach and preach. So go figure. But Frazer, what's up, brother? I always appreciate you being available. Really excited to talk about all things recruiting and team building on the Facebook.
Mate, it's so funny because I use that story, I tell that story everywhere I go now. Because it's so funny when people ask me, hey, have you got 5 minutes? It's always, have you got 5 minutes free? Yeah. My time's not free. Your time's not free. Their time should not be free. Or have you got 5 minutes? It's a quick one. Quick one. Can you jump on for 5 minutes? And the number of times I use what you said to me, like, hey, no, I can't make that work. But I can audio message back and forth. And I was like, all right, I think I might have given you a standing ovation when you said that to me the first time. I just stopped what I was doing, got up, and just started slow clapping. Yeah, something like that. So it was a solid tip right there, guys. Create the boundary and respect your own, respect your life enough.
You know, it's funny. We're going to talk about recruiting, right? Recruiting on Facebook. Uh-huh. I do phone calls for people that are interested in joining the team, right? I think it's always, when it comes to personal recruits, you know, you're looking to partner with someone, you should be willing, and hopefully they are too, to get on a phone call and map out a plan and get to know people. But outside of that, like you said, like, hey, can I pick your brain for 5 minutes? Or hey, it'll be a quick one, 5 minutes. And it's like, well, if it's not going to take 5 minutes, let's just go back and forth. Because here's the problem. If you get me on the phone, it's not you, it's me. Like, I like to talk. It takes me 5 minutes to say hello.
It's true, man. It's true. And no, that boundary has been amazing. And I think when it comes to recruiting as well, like you could do probably 5 or 6 back and forth audios in the time that you could do to have one phone call, couldn't you really?
Amen. Like it's and everything's saved, right? We just talked about this. Everything is saved. So they can go back to a message. They can pull back up your audio. So true. It is interesting though, because back in the early days, the audio thing was weird, right? You send an audio to someone and they're like, what is this? And I'm like, hit the play button.
Yeah, but there's still etiquette though, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's like audio message etiquette. Like if you're throwing someone a 17-minute audio and all the goodness is at the end, and it's like, you know, oh, sorry, hang on. Brian, can you just put the kids to bed? I'm just messaging you. Sorry, John, 2 secs. And it's like, just stop and send me what you need to send me.
Right.
Like, anyway, it's the etiquette.
No, it's
the audio message etiquette.
Yeah, I like that you can go more than 1 minute because I'd rather, you know, it's like 3 minutes and 2 seconds versus it being like, you know, a bunch of 30-second but it is funny because sometimes you're like, 6 minutes? 6 minutes? You start to get anxiety. So I'll send it to my VA and I'll be like, yo, can you listen to this and summarize? Anyway, I'm all about hashtag outsourcing. So Frazer, let's get into it. You're obviously like the guy when it comes to social media, network marketing. You probably have the largest following in all of Europe, all like in all the different markets, right? Like you're working with the biggest and best. You're speaking on the biggest stages. You know, you're working with teams in the US, you're working with teams in Dubai or where you live, right? Or like in Taiwan, we were talking earlier about all your international teams that you built prior to retiring and becoming a full-time coach and mentor. So first of all, before we get into specifics about like Facebook recruiting, what's like your overall philosophy right now? Like what you're seeing in the market that's working and maybe what's not working when it comes to social platforms, recruiting, promoting, selling. I know it's kind of a big conversation, but I know you can summarize it better than anybody.
No, and you and I were talking about this like on a completely different conversation. How the reason why we're saying recruiting on Facebook is we could talk about recruiting in general, but Facebook all the platforms are great, right? We love all the platforms. We build on all the platforms, but statistically in network marketing, Facebook is the best platform to recruit your next rep. Even if you're on Instagram and you're like, no, Instagram's crushing it for me, then it might be true for you. But in general, Facebook is the best for recruiting. Instagram is the best place to build a brand. TikTok is the best place to go get your next customer. And YouTube is the best place to automate sales and sales and team members. That's just the reality from a general perspective. Now, it might be different for you, but here's what I would say. If you're killing it on Instagram, you would double kill it on Facebook because you just use the same philosophy. You just move them onto Facebook. Facebook's just more connected because of the whole like add friend and all that fun stuff. The second thing that I'll say is that the problem that we have in network marketing, and it's not a problem, it's a challenge.
Yeah,
but it's just so obvious what's kind of happened. And when you look at it at a deeper level, it's crazy that social media has made selling the product freaking easy. Like it's become so easy to make. You do a video, it goes viral by accident. You can't like purposely go viral. You can follow some different things, but the reality is the algorithm is just gonna, we've all done it, right? John, you've done it. You've created a video and you've gone, that is gonna crush 7 views, right? And then you come off and you're like, that was crap. That was my worst live. Yeah, that was my worst reel. Yeah, I just did it for the sake of doing it. 300,000 views, and you're like, what? And you make sales. It becomes so easy to make sales. And this is interesting after the whole FTC thing and like the regulators of like sell the dream, build the team. Whoa. You can't say that anymore. Income, money. You go, oh, you can't mention money, how many tacos you made like a month, like whatever. You can't say all that. You got to stay away. Right? Like you just can't do it, right? So then literally as soon as that happened, the universe gave us COVID. I know, sensitive topic, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But for the network marketing space, it was a gift to be like, hey, go and crush it on social media and get loads of customers. So the industry, the number of recruits started to drop. The number of customers started to accelerate at a rapid rate. People are like, why should I spend 3 days to get a recruit when I can spend 3 minutes to get a new customer? That's an exaggeration. But what's happened is now we're out of the COVID situation. People are still trying to get the customers like crazy, and they're forgetting. They're forgetting how important and vital the recruiting is. And I always say, if your business is in a dip, recruit. If you're stuck, recruit. If you're feeling frustrated, recruit. If people aren't doing anything on your team, recruit. If someone's outranking you in a faster amount of time, go recruit. The answers are always in the next recruit. I think there's that acronym RETA, isn't there? Like recruiting is the answer. It's been around for forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And I just think
people will say recruiting is the answer. The answer to what question? All of them.
All of them.
Yeah, all the recruiting challenges you have, or all the business challenges you have, you could solve that problem with going out there and launching new teams. And that's the language I use. Like every time I enroll a new social marketer, distributor, ambassador, whatever your company calls them, whenever you enroll a new person, right, you're launching a new team. And I think sometimes we forget that, like, all of us were recruited. Frazer was recruited. I was recruited. All of you were recruited. So recruiting is not a bad thing. And this whole mindset of like, I suck at recruiting. We talked about this earlier, right? And when you were interviewing me, people say, I suck at videos. And it's like, well, how many have you done? They're like, 3. I'm like, you normally do suck at things you've done 3 times. So when someone says, well, I'm better at getting customers, guess what? So is everybody. Everybody, because why? There's more people out there that will buy your product than will sell your product. Just like there's more people out there driving cars than want to sell cars, right? And there's even less people out there that own a car dealership, right? So this is not like a surprising statistic for you to say, well, I get more customers and I get recruits, or I'm better at this and I'm better at that. At the end of the day, it is a lot of it is just, you got to fix your brain, that mindset and that philosophy of like, why would I keep this a secret? And I think, Richard, can we also point out that there's a lot of people these days, and I think you were kind of going in this direction before you got me excited and I started talking, but would you also agree that people think like, oh, well, I'll just be an affiliate marketer. I'm just going to sell stuff. I'm going to sell courses. I'm going to brand myself. I'm going to monetize. I'm going to do all these things because they lost the vision as to why the recruiting is so important. So can you talk about that? Do you see that too?
Well, it's funny, actually. I actually don't believe you have a business unless you have leverage. Like, and I know there's a lot. I don't really want to go down the route of the whole like master selling rights and all this, whatever you want to call it, but I'm going to. There's a lot of people who are. It's a very interesting strategy that I find that when you've learned something or everything from a person, a community, or an industry, and then you use that into something else, and to get attention, you poo-poo on the person, the community, the company, or the industry. It drives me nuts. And it's like, oh, I was in network marketing for 3 years and made $17. And in the last 3 days, I made $1,700. Yeah. For now. Yeah. For now you have. But when all those new people that you've got and that you couldn't like generate new leads with anyway, once they're all dried up, what are you going to do? Network marketing is the perfect business. I always say this: in the beginning, you do a lot for a little, and in the end, you do a little for a lot. And that's the idea. But here's the key, and here's the clue. John is one of the best in the world. John is one of the best in the world at this, and he's one of a select few that I could name. But we'll go with John. Is that a lot of people go, some will, some won't. So what? Because there's someone what you've got right next. John recruits someone, onboards them, and then goes next. Not, I'm done. Right? And that's the problem with when it comes to recruiting. Yeah, it's like, oh, I've got my 3 who will get 3 who will get 3. Or, oh, she's going to crush it. Or, oh, I've recruited my 1 this month. It's, no. I've recruited someone, so I've got the energy to then go and recruit someone else, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So hence why you hit top of leaderboards. But it's not just John, guys. It's almost all the top income earners who have been the top income earners for a long time. Not the top income earners in one company for 3 years and then they vanished off the face of the earth. Like, these guys have the fundamentals. And I think when it comes to recruiting on Facebook, it's having the fundament. It's so funny that says John and Nadia Melton says, he's the best. So like, I love it, right? I love it. So like it's having that process, that funnel that you do the basics and you put people through every single day, and you get excited about that. And a big part of that is knowing your numbers. So I'll give you guys an equation, and some of you guys like maths, some of you guys hate maths. I happen to be someone who doesn't really like it, but I know the importance of it. Although in school I was like, what's the point in this? But it comes back, is you take the total amount of commission that you've earned inside of your company and divide it by the number of people who you've recruited. You'll be shocked at that amount of money today, and then how much it will grow to a year from now. And so on, until it reaches the stages where people have made millions of dollars. They recruited maybe 1,000 people, so therefore they're earning $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 per person they bring into the business based on the numbers. So when you have that number and you can break down all the numbers before it, you're then gonna say, "Hey, for every conversation I have, I make $50, regardless of what the answer is." Right? Mm-hmm. And when you really focus on them. Right. When you really focus on it, you just win, because you can I used to do this because I figured this out really early on, and I kind of a little bit crazy. It wouldn't work so well now because of the whole like phone culture is not as common now. But someone would say no and they would call it a pyramid thing. And I just go, no worries at all, man. Like, and the number of people who would call me back, like legit 7 out of 10 would call me back going, what? Why were you laughing so crazy? I mean, because I've just made money regardless of your answer. I just needed the answer to be yes or no. Right. So, like,
you're an answer collector. That's it. You're just collecting answers.
Yeah.
Collecting decisions.
Yeah. But I know before that decision comes a really good conversation, whether it goes my way or not. right? Like I'm getting to know someone. And the more I get to know people, the more I realize they struggle with the same things. They have the same challenges. Everyone has the gap. And the more confident I get of, hang on a minute, I've literally got the answer. I've got to find people who want saving.
Right.
And knowing the numbers is so important. Like in that example, John, if you know, and your like commission per recruit is insanely high, right? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. It's insanely high. But then if you know, okay, well, it takes me 50 people to get into an ag tag message group to then get one person to join me, then it's divide that number by 50 and like flip, I'm getting X amount of dollars per person I bring into the ag tag message, as long as you are playing the numbers game right. Because I think a lot of people say it's a numbers game. It's only a numbers game if you play the game right. A lot of people are just like, oh, a network marketing Facebook group message. Hey guys, I'm looking for 3 motivated individuals who want to leave their company and join mine because yours all sucks and mine's the best. Oh, and by the way, it's not launched yet. It launches tomorrow. Get in first. It's like, no, that's not how you play the game, right? Because that's not a conversation. That's a spammy message. But yeah, I think it's knowing the process.
I guess I'm
knowing your numbers.
My post this morning.
Really, yeah. Damn it. Quick delete before all those.
I'm just looking for 3. So I guess, okay, so I love all of that, obviously. And I love that way of breaking it down because that long-term perspective, when you obviously build a bigger business, you get to look back and go, wow, like I didn't realize like I was actually like making all these like deposits in my future that now I get to cash in, but only if you do the deposits, right? Like some people go, I'll never quit. And it's like, cool, but you can't just never quit. You have to actually like do this work. And some of that work, it is going to suck. Like you might go, hey, 30 days, 90 days, 2 years in, and you're like, I did a lot more learning than earning. That's called normal. That's called business mindset, because traditional businesses, what's it, 3 to 5 years to turn a profit in traditional business and 90% out of business. So when you think differently about your business and you don't have these high expectations of like, hey, I'm doing all the things, it's not working. You're like, well, it's not working yet. Write that word down, drop that in the comments. Yet is the key word. What you're doing isn't working yet. I'm doing the videos, I'm not getting a lot of leads, or I'm doing my follow-ups, I'm not converting, which is why they need to do the sales and converting summit, right? I think a lot of people start to realize like, wow, okay, I'm not really getting great results yet, but I am getting better and I am planting seeds along the way. So what would you say are some of those really major keys to recruiting nowadays? Like, should they be prospecting? Should they do a better marketing? Where should they find people? Like, what are some of your best tips when it comes to recruiting on Facebook?
Well, yeah, I think the first thing is to understand that most people won't see it like you. Like, if you're like me, then you wake up every day and you still don't understand why people don't see that network marketing is the greatest thing. Right. Especially when someone joins it. It upsets me more when people join it. They go to an event, and they start to get it, and then they quit it. Like that to me is mind-boggling. Like, but anyway, fair enough. Some people like pineapple on their pizza, some don't. Let me know in the chat if you like pineapple on your pizza, because if you say yes, we can no longer be friends. Okay, John. Whew, happy about that. I get it.
It's like I did this just as you were saying.
Yeah, if you did this, I'd be like. The microphone. So no. So So like again, some people like I have an iPhone. John happens to have every single type of iPhone and Android and Samsung and Huawei and Chinese devices and all these different ones. Right? He's got one just to make sure he can play. He can always be Switzerland with it all. But like again, not everyone's going to see it like you do. So the first thing. And this is more of a fundamental, like the first thing is the mindset of most people won't see it like you. That's totally fine. The second thing is you got to know what you're selling. Like you have, whether it's 20 years ago, today, or 20 years from now, the only thing you're selling is certainty. It's not skincare. It's not health and wellness. It's freaking certainty. And again, look at, and this is something that you should do. And it doesn't have to be done today or this week or this month. But whenever you go, I love in the chat, by the way, with the pineapple. All right. Whenever you go to an event, or whenever you have the opportunity to sit with a mentor or someone, just identify a rank that you would love to be at long term. And anyone at that rank in your company or in other companies who you see like crushing it, right? And they've crushed it for a long time, because there are people crushing it for a week and then they vanish. go and just go and interview them on like, how certain are you about this being the thing that's going to set you and your family and the people around you free? I will almost guarantee, don't like to use the word guarantee in network marketing, but I can almost guarantee you that they're all 1,000% certain. And this is the example I can give you. Belief is not enough. Here's the example. Let's say a woman out there, right? So we've got Teresa or Nikki. There we go, Nikki Brooks. Come on, Brooksy. Like we're basically cousins, right? So got Nikki Brooks out there, and Nikki's on her sofa. Her partner walks in, and Nikki says to her partner, "Bob, am I the woman of your dreams?" And Bob turns to Nikki and goes, "Yeah, I believe so. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Nikki's like, pack your bags, you're out. Naff off, right? Do one. Now, second scenario, Nikki sat on the sofa, partner walks in from going to the gym, whatever. Nikki says, "Bob, am I the woman of your dreams?" And he throws his phone away, walks right up to you, looks you dead in the eye, hands on your shoulders, and looks you right in the eye and says, 1,000%. I can't even imagine the day I didn't meet you. Right? Sorry, I can't even imagine the day, like, not existing that I met you. How do you feel now? Right? How do you feel now? Because there's a level of certainty, conviction, and you trust it. So if you're not certain, your recruiting is already going to suck. So you got to get certain. Now, I'm not telling you don't recruit until you're certain, right? Go and recruit to help you become certain.
Yeah,
right?
But you're not going to have that in the beginning. You got to build.
Of course,
of that. It's so good, so true.
Of course, but like it's when you try. Here's what I will tell you. We all start out selling the product, but you have to understand that product selling is level 1. Business selling the business is level 2. But selling the certainty and the vision, that's level 3. It's kind of like this, right? You're walking down the street. I love analogies. So this is how I can help you break it down. You're walking down the street, and I'm in a Rolls Royce. The Rolls Royce is the product. Some of you are going to look at it, and I'm going to say, "Hey, get in. Let's go for a drive." Some of you are going to go, because there's that. If you're like me, I saw network marketing and I was like, whoa. My dad was in it. I'm like, whoa, Dad, that's not for me. There are some of you out there who are like, why aren't my prospects like me? They're like, yeah, I'm in, sold, I'm in, let's do this. Right? I've got nothing else to do. Screw it. So some of you are going to see me in this Rolls Royce and you're going to go, whoa, my friends are going to be so jealous. And then you jump in. Some of you go, yeah, stranger danger. No. I ain't getting in that car with you, the stranger. So the car is the product. The driver is the business, right? So imagine that Beyonce is driving the Rolls Royce. Beyonce is driving this Rolls Royce. You go, whoa. I want the product. And it's freaking Beyonce, which is the brand and the business. I'm getting in that Rolls Royce. But the third thing, you would never get in a car unless you know where it's going.
Right.
How many of you have got onto a plane and then gone, excuse me, do you know where we're going today? Or, excuse pilot, where are we going today? And the pilot comes on, ladies and gentlemen, yes, just to inform you, we are going to be taking off in 5 minutes and we have no idea where we're going to be going today. We might circle around Budapest and potentially land in Vienna, but we're not too sure. We could end up in St. Petersburg. We'll keep you posted. Maybe not. You're like, whoa, stop the frickin' plane. I'm off. There's no way. So the product is first level. The business is the second level. The vision and the certainty is the third level. But again, part of it is you come back to what you said, John. It's like you start with the product, then you get into the business, and then you get into, I'm certain this is the best thing, whether it's you use the product, whether you use the business, or you buy into the vision of where we're going. And it's so funny. Again, the people who are doing the $1 million years and beyond, they're so certain and they're so focused on where they're taking their team. We're going to be creating 1,000 thousandaires, 1,000 millionaires, whatever that vision might be. Now, the third thing is, how is it done nowadays? Well, it's still done the same today than it was, but a lot of people are looking for so many different things that there's so much dilution in the network marketing space. Whereas if I go to my dad and say, hey, Dad, what were you doing in the 80s and the 90s? Him and his team will have all done the exact same thing. And the accelerated growth that they had was phenomenal because everyone could teach the same thing. It was the system. But on Facebook, so I'll give you like one to just start with, really. I think you would get value in. Facebook groups. oh, here we go. I've heard about Facebook group strategy 1,000 times before. Yeah, because they work. So you're going to go and you're going to find 5 Facebook groups around the same topic. Okay. So let's pick a topic of yoga. So Facebook group 1 could be yoga for mums, could be yoga in California, yoga in the US, yoga at home, yoga for new mums, right? Like it's 5 variations of the same thing. So you've got one group for 5 days of the week. Monday, I'm not going to make you do it on a Saturday and Sunday. I know you're doing this to be around your family and all that fun stuff, right? So Monday to Friday. So you're going to make a decision. What group is Monday's group, Tuesday's group, Wednesday's group, Thursday's group, Friday's group? You got the 5 groups, 5 days, 5 groups. So on Monday, you're going to wake up and you're going to go into Facebook group number 1 and you're going to find a post that has performed very well. Ignore the likes, ignore the shares, ignore the views, pay attention to the comments because comments create conversation. Conversation creates conversions, right? And John talks about this all the time, right? Conversation. So we find Facebook group number 1, and that post that Sally wrote, we have no idea who Sally is. She's wrote a post, and it's got 1,300 comments. Jeez. So instead of me going, what shall I post today? I'm going to go, ooh, Sally's post. Copy. Go into group number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Paste. Now, if Sally's post is, hey guys, it's Sally here from Utah, and I am a mum of 3, I'm not going to write that. Right? I'm not going to use her photo. I'm just going to model what she's done and ask the same question that she's done. And guess what I'm going to do on Tuesday? I'm going to go into the second group. I'm going to find the post that's performed really, really well. I'm going to post it into group 1, 3, 4, and 5. Wednesday, group 3, 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, and so on. So that every day, Monday to Friday, I've got engagement posts on these 5 groups. And guess what? No one can kick me out of the group because I'm talking about freaking yoga. Now, the reason why I bring up yoga, your product might have nothing to do with yoga, but how we start the business is having a conversation. If we have a conversation about something with like-minded individuals, again, it's nothing new. It's just doing what freaking works and ignoring all the things that you're like, oh, I need to learn LinkedIn level 72 so that I can get 4th level connections on LinkedIn through articles, when it's like, no, you don't, because Facebook still works, even though you're like, oh, I'm sick and tired of the algorithm. Who cares? The Facebook groups has nothing to do with algorithms. It's up to you. What am I interested in? What do I want to have conversations with? And then you ask questions, you thank them, and then in the messenger, you continue the conversation on. Like, how many times have you been in a situation when you're at a group of friends in the pub, in a bar, in a restaurant, and there's a table of 8, square table, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and you're having a conversation together about football, for example, and then all of a sudden, the conversation changed. You turn to the person to the left of you and you continue the conversation of the football while everyone else is talking about something else. That's the group environment, and then in the messenger. So, John,
can I also say why I love this, though? This has nothing to do with going viral, making reels, making TikToks, building a brand. This is just going out there every day and being intentional with connecting with like-minded people. And you might say, well, I'm not into yoga. You're missing the whole point. Into and join some. But you know what's funny is I think we can all agree that, like, if you're in health and wellness, it makes sense to get in some yoga groups, right? Some holistic groups or fitness communities. Like, it's just, you're making friends, you're being a good human, and you're already like, you're taking something that's working, like you already know that post works, and then you're just posting it with your own verbiage, right? You can use ChatGPT to tweak it up a little bit and then post that same thing in the other groups. Like, it's such a smart and so simple strategy.
So simple.
For anybody to go make some new friends and meet some new people, no matter how crappy your war market is or whatever limiting beliefs you think you have with trying to find people. This is a genius and simple way for anybody to go meet new humans.
But you mentioned that, like, genius and simple, like, that's, we can all be genius.
Yeah.
Like, if we just do the simple, like, your system is, you were sharing when we were, obviously, before we had our teas and coffees, and you've had like 3 different drinks since we've been on here, right? So, like, before,
it's true.
Like, the system, like, you got to, right? You just, like, you've got all this product, and you're like, just like, wait, just get it down me, like, come on. So, which shows, man, you're looking great. So, like, the 3-step process you shared with me is just a simple system that you're like, why didn't I think of that? Like, It's so simple. It's so genius. I always think of like, do you know the pool noodles? Like those like floatable, like long
Oh yeah,
noodle
of
like
course.
things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Why didn't we think of that? That's
right.
like the most obvious thing that someone probably would need in a swimming pool to like float around. Guys made multiple millions. So keep it simple. Do it. But then when it is simple, a lot of people go, oh, it's so simple. That can't be what I've got to do every day. Don't doubt it, because doubt kills action. But then remember that action kills doubt. So yeah, it's collecting friends. I always say you start a friendship, then you build a relationship to see if they want to have the partnership. If the right people have the entrepreneurship, then with your mentorship, you create leadership, which one day creates the championship. It's going to feel like an apprenticeship before it goes off like a rocket ship, right? But some people will lose their ship. Ship happens, right? So it's a reality of it that it is a shipping business. You just got to start friendship first, championship last. You fill in the pieces of the puzzle in between, and just don't freaking quit, man. I know it's the easiest thing to say. Just don't quit. Just don't quit. Everything's gonna be fine. Just don't quit. But like legit, I can say that I wanted to quit in my first year. I wanted to quit way more than I wanted to keep going. Way more. But finding the people who were certain and surrounding myself with those people, that allowed me to then go on and recruit and help other people recruit. And I just think that if you're certain about Facebook, don't let anyone else tell you otherwise, because you'll go to an event and people will all talk. Everyone will talk about Instagram. It's just the reality. Oh, Instagram, stories, reels, lives, like Instagram. And then someone will feel like, I use Facebook groups. And it's as if people go, Facebook groups. God, that's so 1924. Like, it's just like, the reality is that people are recruiting like maniacs on Facebook, and don't let anyone else persuade you to do otherwise.
Oh, and and we were talking about this in the interview you did with me. It's like you can use those other platforms to meet people and connect and generate leads.
Right.
But at the end of the day, man, like we ATM our face off. We're adding people to the groups, tagging them in the videos. We're doing messenger chats with prospects. We got our team chats. Like it just like someone will say to me, like, hey, can someone build this business without Facebook? I'm like, yes, but they could also do home parties, right? Like it is easier if they're on Facebook. They can still use TikTok and Instagram
Right.
and YouTube and Pinterest and LinkedIn, all these other places to meet people. But Facebook is the King Kong, especially for duplication, simplicity, and it has all the bells and whistles. Like Instagram, there are no Instagram groups. There are no team chats on Instagram. Like that's not a thing on TikTok. That's not a thing on LinkedIn. And even if it was, they would only have like one feature or two features. Like we built a multi-million-dollar business. We have literally the number one team probably in the industry because of Facebook. Do not ignore Facebook. And if your upline's telling you not to use Facebook or you haven't used Facebook a whole lot, just start implementing this one strategy. But I know you have a lot more to share. I know you have a lot more that you can help people with. So can you talk a little bit about the summit you have coming up in a couple of weeks? Because we're really excited to be promoting that. We're going to be sharing this with our team, with our network. I know you got this 5-day sales and conversion summit. So can you talk a little bit about that, Frazer? I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, so I'll tell you the story behind it real quick. So I was in Moscow 2021. We were picking up our dog, Mando. He's you'll agree that your dog is the best dog ever, but he's the best dog ever, right? So like everyone's dog's the best dog ever. They're just amazing. And we were picking him up, and like I was in Moscow for a month. And John, you're probably like me. I'm similar to you. Is like after 3 days of being in Moscow, I'd done the exploring, and then I was like,
now
I'm bored, and I've got 4 weeks left. Like, what do I do? And Svetlana's like, oh, just switch off and enjoy. Moscow's an amazing city. I'm like, it's amazing, but like, my mind is running at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I feel guilty doing freaking nothing. It's just the way I am. You're the same, right? You're always on it.
100%.
So I was like, you know what? I want to find a way. How can I find a way to teach the entire industry all the strategies that people are using out there to work? And like, you can learn them all. And then the 3 that really pop out, you go do them. So I was like, right, okay, well, strategy. What kind of strategies? And I came up with the idea of content and conversion summit, which means that I want content strategies and then strategies that convert people who are doing the content into people who are buying. And the one that you shared that was going to be a part of it was a great It was kind of both, really, but it was really good. It was really solid on the conversion side of things. So I got like all my like Rolodex out, and I started contacting people, and everyone was like, yeah, I'll do it. And we did it in 2021, 2022. We had 50,000 people go through the 2 summits. And then this year, we didn't do it in 2023 because I had a kid and life just got a little bit hectic. But this year was like, right, screw it. We're going to do it again. So I'm interviewing 14 people on 14 strategies, like 7 or 8 on content, and like 6 or 7 on conversion. And I'll share like 1 a day. So 5 days, an hour and a half each day. It's all recorded. So as soon as you wake up in the morning until you go to bed, you have like the full day to go through it whenever you want. You can do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, start, stop, forward, back. And it's free, which is the kind of wild thing about it. There is the upgraded experience version of it where you can get the replays and the behind the scenes, and there's an implementation day where you can learn it all but then actually implement it. So yeah, if you go to, well, there's going to be John will put a link up, or one of John's like dream team behind the scenes people will. There we are. Oh, look at that. John has put it up magically. Yes. Bem, there we are. Bem's done it, smashed it. Well done. And Desi. So so it's just a way for you to validate the strategy that you're already doing, because there are other people and the people from all over the world who are crushing it. It's a way for you to validate the strategy you're doing, hear another variation of it, or potentially something that you're like, what? Like, are you kidding? Like, how was I not doing that? Just like the Facebook group one. You're like, right, how was I not leveraging what was working for other people? That's like just one of like 20 strategies that are being shared. And I'll tell you.
Would you mind giving just an example of like some of these people that use the Facebook group strategy? Because I think sometimes people are like, wow, that's you back it up with like a couple examples maybe, because I think that stuff, that's what excites me so much, is that we give these people strategies and then we inspire them with like, here's an example. Like an example of someone.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the strategies shared is from my friend Obada. So he's in the Middle East. Network marketing is very different in the Middle East, and he has a 60-day strategy. But it feels like saying 60 days feels like a lot, but it is the most simple thing. And his business has gone from $15,000 in volume a month to $2.2 million in volume a month in just 21 months. So like, when you hear the strategy, yeah, it's crazy. I'm so proud of him. Like, you know, when you tell someone to do something and they flipping do it and then make it their own, and then they come back and report, and you're like, how? Right. So I'm very blessed to be able to be in these positions where people kind of tell me their tweaks of the strategy. So yeah, we went from 15,000 to 2.2 million in volume, and it's just growing at a crazy rate. It's got people doing 1,000 customers, new customers every single month using Snapchat. So there's like loads of these different strategies. Wow. I know, I thought it died, but it's doing 1,000 plus with a certain type. Which is
funny because like my kids use it all the time. So why would we think it's dead just because we don't use it? But this is what I love about your trainings. Is that, again, you're not just like in one company because you're retired, right? You're like with all the companies, like, you know, all the best people, all the strategies and what they're doing. And that's why, like, listen, y'all, I'm telling you, this will not disappoint. mylifestyleacademy.com/summit to get registered. It is free 99. I mean, hello, but don't treat it like it's free. Treat it like investing, because you're investing the time. Right. And there is an upgrade, although I would probably actually, I don't know how much the upgrade is, but whatever it is, do it. Because anything and everything Frazer does is money in the bank. And if you're driving or you can't screenshot this, you could also drop the word summit in the comments. My team will respond to you. If you can't, for some reason, get the link right now. But it's literally mylifestyleacademy.com/summit. Get registered. It's going to be amazeballs. And you hear from people like that. I'm assuming this guy's one of the 14.
He's one, yeah. He's one of the 14. Another gal, she's using TikTok ads, absolutely killing it on TikTok. Another girl, actually, you know very well, Julie. She shares her like YouTube strategy. She shares her YouTube. It was funny. I was interviewing someone. I'm not going to say who it was, and it wasn't Julie. And one of the girls was like, it was one of the girls who I interviewed was like, I just realized what I'm giving you and everyone in the network marketing space, like how valuable this is. And she had like with a smile on her face because she's a massive collaborator, but it kind of triggered halfway through being interviewed. Like, I'm giving away all my, because I ask questions, right? I ask the questions that you guys would want to ask. So you guys get the answers. So nothing's like, held secret. So yeah, there's TikTok, there's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Reels, Stories. I think one of the girls shares how she gets 500,000 plus views every single time she does a reel, 100,000 plus views on every single story. Just like the fundamentals that she's followed. Mate, there's so many strategies. So much is being shared, and it's just everyone who I've interviewed. It's a successful strategy. It's not like, oh, I think this would be good. Yeah. Like they're all working.
My upline said this was a good idea. I don't know. These are the upline. These are the leaders that are doing the do. I love it.
Yeah. So there's some killer automation with like ManyChat. There's lots of different things, but the idea is, and how it's framed, is that there's going to be a lot of strategies that are being shared. You just need one, two, maybe three of them that you're actually going to implement. And there we go. Look at that. I followed one of Frazer's strategies. Within 4 weeks, I made an extra 10K. Boom. Well done, Kirsty. Good work. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So what can happen when you're coachable and you implement what you're learning. You do a lot more learning than earning in the early days, I always say, but the more you implement, the more you execute, eventually you get to remove the L.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there we are. See, here we are. Look at him, all these little old school tidbits that he's put his energy on.
Like
I love it. Yeah. There we are. Yeah, man. I'm fired up, and I'm so grateful for you being a part of it, because this is the third time I've done it, and I think this is actually the third time that you've been on it, which is amazing, because everyone always asks you to come back. Your energy is amazing. The strategies you share are amazing, but also you have the proof. You've got the proof and the evidence to back it up, and I'm super grateful to you and everything that you've done for the industry, especially in the time where people were poo-pooing and bad-mouthing, network marketing on social media doesn't work. It was very easy for people like myself to go, you should go and speak to John Melton and see what he thinks about that, and go see some of his
follow
numbers.
John, and you tell me if it's not working.
Yeah, you go follow John and just you go see for yourself. So I appreciate you, brother. I really, truly.
Yeah, I appreciate the friendship, the leadership, the mentorship that you provide, all the shipping you offer to the profession, and we always have fun together. So I appreciate you, man. And, I know a lot of people are going to get value, not just from today, but from the summit. So make sure you all get registered, share with your teammates. And it's always stuff like this is always generic. So it doesn't matter what company you're in. Right. If you could use some leads, if you want to create better content that converts, I would probably recommend being a part of this. And again, Frazer, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
Thanks, mate. All right, guys, I'll see you on the summit. Looking forward to it.
Bye, everyone.